Dear students, today we will discuss the essay on superstition by A.G. Gardiner. The full name of A.G. Gardiner is Alfred George Gardiner. He also wrote under the pen name Alpha of the Plough. He was an essayist, editor, journalist and author. He was a well-known journalist and an essayist of outstanding merit. Pebbles on the Shore and Leaves in the Wind are two of his best-known essays. In this essay on superstition, A.G. Gardiner talks about how man has the fear of the unknown. Starting from the ancient time when science was not developed, people didn't know how to describe various natural phenomena or calamities around them. So they attributed some kind of superstition to each and everything. Before understanding this essay, we have to clear in this the definition of superstition in our mind. What is superstition? We should know about superstition. What is superstition? A belief based on ignorance or fear is a superstition. A belief which is based on ignorance or fear is a superstition. The theme of this essay is fear. How an individual always suffers with this fear of the unknown. Man has a fear of the unknown, and to alleviate this fear, he creates superstitions. The superstitions originate on human ignorance and blind faith in the things which are mysterious and unknown. There are various superstitions observed by common people. Starting from the ancient time when science was not developed, people didn't know how to describe. Now in this scientific age, if we believe in these superstitions, then it would be our drawback. We will be considered fool. In this essay, the author analyzes these aspects and talks about these aspects in detail. There are so many superstitions that we are associated with, which has no logic behind it. The essay on superstitions appeared in the second series of the Alpha of the Plough. In this essay, I would like to share my general concept of this essay in this lecture. The author begins with various superstitions. First of all, he talks about the walking around the ladder. Then he talks about the superstition of number 13, and then he tells narratives of all these events which have logic, which are logical or some are illogical. What we think about superstition? When we talk about superstition, what comes in our mind? First of all, general superstition comes to our mind, that is the crossing of the cat. If we are going on the way, if we are on the way and the cat crosses the road, then we just stop there and think that it is a bad omen. So we just stop and wait unless and until someone crosses the road, because it is considered to be the bad omen. So in this essay also the poet talks about various kinds of superstition. First, he talks about the walking around the ladder. If anyone walks beneath the ladder, what happens? It may happen that a person who is on the ladder may throw something upon you, and it may also happen that a man himself may fall down, or in any case you may get hurt, or the poet himself may get, himself may get hurt. So it is logical. Okay, it is a logical superstition is walking around the ladder. And but illogical superstition like number 13, the poet talks about the superstition associated with number 13, the dread or the fear of number 13 in the West. He talks about the dread or the fear of number 13 in the West. People in the West regarded it the most unlucky number. They avoid it because they think that it ominous. This superstition has its origin in the Last Supper of Christ. When Christ supped last, there were 13 persons, and soon after that, Christ was crucified. And generally in America and in London, people don't have number 13 floor because they consider it bad omen. If there occur any incident or murder, people blame number 13. Okay, they don't think that the fact that it may happen with another number also. The same crime may happen in lanes and houses of another number or different numbers, but it is psychological impact or the fear of number 13 which is considered bad omen. Number 13 is considered as a bad omen. Another thing that the author tells us here is that because of this, there is a he also gives an example of the patient, the hospital, bed number 13. If if the patient is admitted and he's put on the bed number 13, he's admitted in the hospital, and if he's associated with the bed number 13, the patient may have some kind of psychological effect because he is on the bed number 13. He may not get cured because there is a psychological impact, psychological influence, because he thinks that he is on the bed number 13. So he suffers even more because of the psychological burden rather than his disease. So if he is not sick, seriously sick, but he is on the bed number 13, he gets very uncomfortable and thinks about gets mentally sick when he thinks about bed number 13, and it is the psychological impact which and just because of the psychological impact his health decreases rather than in any recovery. So the patient not get cured. He may not get cured. That sense it may happen that the person suffers even more because of this.